Dominic. Hey, pork dread. Oh, good. Alright, focus. I still trying to start.
But why you scream and open?
The camera is not working. Right,
In a
the computer ain't
pickup.
picking it up right now. Walk it just around.
Start.
Um, something going on with the phone.
See if they have the other mic on. Audio check. Mic test. Audio check. Mic test one, two, test one, two. Sound check. Mic test audio check. Mic test. committed
No good.
by the United Police Force
I can look.
against
Put on this tape.
in spite of they take action in their own interest. They are quick to label us as hooligans and criminals and to brand us and plaster our photographs on the front pages of their newspapers. And when they go to report the atrocities of the rich, all we know is that something wrong was done, but we never know who did it unless we get it from the grapevine. The report is always a popular businessman or a senior government official. Why can there be a level playing field for the rich as well as the poor? If we are touting one Guyana, then there is no one Guyana in spite of the foolish moutings of Dagdio and Ali. What we need is what the motto says: one people, one nation, and one destiny. And so we have to restore the pride of our country. Our country has been stained by the Adriana incident. The world watched in amazement as the Guyana police force attempted everything to persuade the family to remove from the scene where a crime was being committed. And then we have a government that has not for a single day, in spite of the lies in the newspaper, held those responsible and put them in prison. But people who came out and raised their voices and showed their anger against this dastardly act, they were thrown in prison and charged for treason. You see, this government is playing a dangerous game because they believe that they are dealing with a people whom they can subdue, whom they can make fearful, and whom they can defeat through tyranny and fear. And so all of their tactics is designed to crush us and to make us believe that we must accept whatever they dish out to us, that we must not complain, that we must be treated like slaves who must be at the beck and call of the masters. We have fought and we have defeated slavery. And this PPP government will not make us slaves again. They underestimate the resilience, the fortitude, the strength, the spirit of rebellion of our people. And so when people came out in the streets for Adriana, they were stumped by it because they believed that by their actions in Linden, killing two of our brothers, by killing Quinlan Bacchus, by locking up people who protested for Quinlan, that they have defeated the fighting spirit in our people. What I am telling them, it is a flame that is within us, and it is a flame that is getting bigger, and it is a flame that will explode into an inferno if, from election day, they carry out their plans to rig the elections and to remain in power for another 5 years. We are not going to allow it. If we do, then we are in for an even greater time. And so this is the last bit. A wave of change is taking place in the Caribbean, Trinidad, PNM has lost the elections. I saw a message in my phone before I left home that Santoki in Suriname has lost the election. And in Guyana, despite the scheming of the PPP must lose. It is their belief that they have everything covered and in their favor. They have hijacked Jacob. And they have dismissed all of the independent voices or the voices that would have been there to prevent the plans that they are working to execute. And they are in bed with the chief decision maker, the person who has the casting card to decide whether they get through with their rigging or not. How is it that our commissioners and DCOM have to be complaining to the media that since 2020, every vote that the commission has taken, that the chairwoman of DCOM allegedly has voted with the PPP? critical meetings of GCOM where discussions on the upcoming elections, critical decisions that must be taken in those discussions cannot move forward because every time that a meeting is set, that the commissioners are informed that the meeting is cancelled. And so they are on a road to deceive us. Concerns were raised about the CEO of GCOM, that he was the man who allegedly had taken away the flash drives from GCOM in 2015 with important data, that he is the man who was in control of the MIS, the Management Information System at GCOM, and that he knows all of the passwords so that he can possibly manipulate information that is being put into the system at GCOM. And so results that may be coming in, if these allegations are true, can be changed by someone who is outside of that technical room where the decisions on the final results are going to be made. And the chairwoman it was, allegedly, who voted in support of him being returned after his contract expired. And so we have a great challenge, and we have to be prepared to stand up and to fight against any attempts at giving the PPP a victory which they have not earned. And that is the reason why they're trying to beat us down. That is the reason why at every turn they are intimidating us and they are killing us. So that we must have in our minds that if I go out there to fight for what is right, that the likelihood is that I may end up in a body bag. So we cannot fear that kind of threat. And so they have stepped up their game by using funds that are in the police force. And we know that not all our policemen are bad. That there are those who believe that they have to suck up to the PPP until they don't suck till they do enough and they end up like Brutus. When they done the work that they do, they dash them in a corner and bring all kinds of fancy charges again because they got the rest are. We got to understand that the PPP doesn't like us. They pretend and they try to deceive us into believing that they can win us by giving us a little bit here and a little bit there. And there are those who are shouting that life is so good. I get 100,000 contract. I get $1 million contract. And when they're done with the contract, and they got to pay, they won't give them the contract, then they got to pay the people to do the work. They can't even buy a proper food. any kind of opportunity to become viable citizens, to grow our enterprise, and to make us a strong, rich, and powerful people. Because in Jack Theo's mind, the poorer we are, the better they are able to control us. It is a word and a vision that he has that you can control the poor. Because if they are to fight for a day, they're not going to be able to last too long because in 2 days they're going to be scrambling for food, the money going to run out. So there can be no lasting struggle with the poor. And that is why they've kept us in this kind of servitude. But deep down inside also, it is part of the racist nature of Jack View and Ali and the people. Because a lot of the concentration of poverty and keeping people up in poverty is directed towards the African and the Amerindian people of this country. Not saying that Indians are not facing difficulties, because they too have been complaining about the fact that is Bonnie and Sissy and cousin and auntie who got 5 and 10 companies and are getting all the contracts. I am hopeful that my Indian brothers and sisters will realize that there is more beyond race, that we can all enjoy the good life with good governance, with a government that cares not only for one set of people, but with a government that cares for all Ghanaians. And so as we move forward towards elections, we are calling upon you in the villages like these to steel yourselves, to be prepared, if it comes to that, to take the war to the PPP so that we can be victorious and we can get them out of this government. Look at what they've been doing. I mean, they have created a parallel police force. They have given them all the guns they want. They have given them armored vehicles. And at every call, these guys are showing up and are directing the police. What kind of spine do we have now in the police force that no one is willing to stand up and to say that I will not tolerate this, that this is a police matter, and that sheriff security has no calling here. And the bottom line is that when you look at sheriff security and you look at the people they send, they look like me and they look like you. What they are trying to do is to divide us as a people. They are trying to divide us as a race, African people against African people. And they are trying to divide us as a nation by putting Africans against Indians. And we must be conscious of this. And we must and who seem not too concerned with the matters of elections, who are more concerned with fighting at the square of the revolution, had a skill that I don't see many people practicing, cutting mirrors and so on. I found out from his niece the other day, if they have been that trade, and she did inform me that his brother is training a nephew to continue with that trade. And so I'm hopeful. But you see, the intent by killing us is a strategy, not only to drive fear in us, by locking us up at every turn. They are trying to reduce our numbers for the elections because they are aware that the numbers, the gap that they had in previous elections has been significantly reduced. And so what they are doing at every turn is trying to reduce the number of voters whom they believe are not going to vote in their favor. That's what movement is. What we, as a people, as I have said, have to be conscious. And we have to be out at the polling stations watching what is happening. And because they have brought, you see how they don't care. And they have brought a whole lot of Venezuelans, encourage them to come, and are sending them to justices of the peace to have them do affidavits to change their nationality, to make them Guyanese and to get them ID cards and so on, for them to vote at the elections. But if you go to a polling place and you see them going into the polling, stop them because they have no right voting in elections in them. They don't care about the threats of Maduro to take over as people. They don't care who so that it can continue.
Yeah, what is the problem? Hello?
I want to again admonish our people that setting out should not be the order of the day. Against the wall, over 6 weeks of struggle, not giving up. That struggle was important to Guyana because it sent a message to the PPP that it is not only black people who are dissatisfied with the way in which they are managing the country. It sent a message that the country was behind the teachers. And similarly, the country is behind the poor and suffering public servants. I watched what was happening in Essequibo when the teachers came out. Indian businessmen supplying drinks, supplying food, supplying water to the teachers who were on strike every day so that they could have lasted out for that 6 weeks. And then here comes the darkness. Light turned into darkness and killed the struggle of our teachers. You know, in some places, you know, we just get things too easy in this country. In South Africa, they had something named a color. When you do stupidness like that, they find you with a tie around your neck, with gasoline inside, and it burning. We, when we talk like this, Ravi, we have I am saying that in spite of what you think and what you believe, that you must put your votes in the right place. Otherwise, we are going to be crying for 5, 10, 15 years. And that must not happen. I've talked quite long. I'm going to ask the organizing secretary of the Working People's Alliance to come and to speak with you, to say a few words. Iraqi Amsterdam, please take the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Jewel. Buxton, you want to take top? I want drums. Where the drums are? I want drums. You know all day here tonight. who was it? You or you? Yeah? I want to believe you going to give me. Kumbaya, Mila. Kumbaya. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Boys and girls, good evening. Visitors to Buxton, good evening. Welcome. As we usually say, this is liberated territory, Buxton. Regardless of where the trouble is in the country, Buxton gets involved. If Buxton are part of the happenings, then the happenings are happening. Because why? Buxton has a long history of fighting oppression. They tell us that Buxton people stop praying, but they never tell you that Buxton people stop praying to stand up for their rights. They like to tell you Buxton people are oppressive, but Buxton people love you and Buxton people welcome. But if you mash with two, then if you trouble the Buxton people, you get fever. If you trouble the Buxton people, you get fever. From that fever, you never recover. I want you to take a look that the way things are shaping up in this country, it looks like no 4 trains don't get to stop. They ain't got speed train or locomotive, whatever I'm calling about them. But there are lots of modern trains that got to stop. And one of them named oppression. One of them named discrimination. And next one named child abduction, rape, and murder. And so, brothers and sisters, when we assemble here tonight under the auspices of the Working People's Alliance, WPA, we assemble here in solidarity my friends of the government. They, up to this day, are being protected by the government. Brothers and sisters, the WPA says the PPP knows exactly what happened at Dorbay Hotel. And they must come clean with the Guyanese people. They must come clean with the Guyanese people. Brothers and sisters, I want to tell you this. finally announced an election date last night. Baguio, Ba- Baguio issued a statement today. and they're accountable to us, then we have to hold them accountable. In any decent democracy, the least we would have had happening in this country is the commander of that division, Mandal, I think his name is, the ranks that went to the hotel and protected it from people who wanted to search it. Force administration, whoever that was. Quite frankly, the commissioner of police and the minister of home affairs, all of them would have had to pack the traps and go home. But in this country, not a single one has suffered a fate that is negative to them. Mr. Mandal is on administrative leave. Those of you who were in the police force would know that when you're on admin leave, quite frankly, the vacation repeat. Because you just go and enjoy every purpose of the office. The only thing you're not doing is work. And so Mandal is being rewarded, no, I see, Mandal is being rewarded for being a good lapidog of the PPP and their friend at W. And we can't continue to allow that to happen. We have to hold them accountable. From the time the abduction of that child was reported, what I recognize happened is all the PPP friends and cronies got together and decided that we got to protect Dede and son. But those are the owners of W Hotel. We got to protect them. Because why? They are our representatives. They are our henchmen. They do the dirty deed for us. And if you believe, I don't know what I'm saying. A board has said to me that there's a photograph out there with a certain person, I think somebody to do with education, a big one at education ministry, in her bikini, notice that, in her bikini at a nude party at Dede. Because that is where the people can the friend system become the nude party. And so these people are cozy. They know the inside out of what goes on at the Hotel. So this is what happened. No man, this report is made that this young black child is missing. And this business is owned by one of us. Let us circle the wagons. Nobody, no policeman, woman or child is allowed to go into that hotel and search it. None is allowed to go into that hotel and search it. And so for several hours, that little child is there, Adriana is there. God knows what the fears were. God knows what she was suffering at that time. And the police was standing guard while murder was taking place at the hotel. The so-called president was having a grand time while murder was taking place at that hotel. And to date, the government has not done anything convincing that they want that family to get justice for Adriana. Why am I saying that? The family said we want independent pathologists, we want this person. They went as government and they got who they wanted. You know why they got who they wanted? Because who pays the piper calls the tune. And so when we get whoever we want, we can tell them what the results should be. And that is what happened. Right? The family said, listen, we trust this first set of this first party here. We want to bring our man, Dr. Daisy, to do the postmortem. Now let me tell you a story. Dr. Daisy did at least 2 postmortem in this country before. Any doctor coming to this country to work has to get the Ghana Medical Council's permission to work, a temporary registration. They gave him that at least on 2 occasions before. But on this occasion, when he's coming to do the postmortem on Adriana Young, the Ghana Medical Council said, we can't grant you no permission because we got new information about you. We have to investigate it. It will take at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks have passed, and they have not granted that permission. They're still investigating. But you know what else? In the time that they have the family waiting for that permission, in the time that they're dragging their feet for that permission, they are trying to convince Guyanese that we big and we stupid because of all the things that they say. The family said we want an independent investigator from Scotland Yard. In fact, we want Scotland Yard, we want Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or we want FBI. They say, what happened? FBI? We will only bring FBI in this country to investigate tax evasion by Azode Mohammed. That's more important than the life of this 11-year-old. We will not bring the Royal Canadian Mounted Police because they're too serious. We're going to look for a retiree from there. And so they brought a retiree from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. A retiree. Why you choose a retiree from an organization instead of the organization? Because the retiree is not accountable to anybody except you who will be paying him. Who pays the piper for the truth? When the people say they trust the police to investigate, they said about bring who? The Caribbean, whoever they need. RSS. I will let them missing there. Because the RSS did it before and they investigate something and they up to now, the sister say you can't get up. So you understand what is happening? While they are dragging their feet all the time, they're found, big nose, some kind of general, or so they think, turn your jackass or something. But he come out and he say, hey, from the information I have gotten from experts, that body has no forensic value anymore. It's about too large. So if you take another autopsy, whatever the findings are, can't be genuine because nobody has no more forensic value. It being too large. When is the second argument they're making against the second autopsy? Because when the family had called for the second autopsy first, Anthony, Trump, incompetent Trump? Yeah. He has said that this thing look fishy because we don't hand over the body to the family. And they could do anything with the body. And so whatever the result will be questionable. But again, I'm saying, be big, but being stupid. Because the specialists will tell us that if something is done to a body after death, they could tell you that it happened after death. Because the body is supposed to react in a certain way if it happens before death. And so the specialists can tell you that. But I guess they got their own kind of specialists, a set of quack, who they're quoting and suggesting got the right information because the life of that little black girl, Adriana Young, has no value. And you want to know the value? They don't like when I go there. The ERC say, I'm a racist. The ERC say that I am threatening I'm threatening social cohesion in this country because I'm always addressing race history. What I'm saying today, that the police weren't allowed to rush into W Hotel and look for little Adriana Young because she was not the child of an Indo-Guyanese. Exactly. Guess who the gatekeeper was? The gatekeeper was the divisional commander who is an Indo-Guyanese. Where was she abducted? At a business place that belonged to an Indo-Guyanese. So now you're telling me if the only minority factor here is this little African child and every Hamburg is being caused by an Indo-Guyanese, you have to tell me that race is involved and they simply say, if you're black, stand back. I want you to look at your society. Look at the Guyanese society right now and see if anything that I'm saying about race is inaccurate. Right? I want you to look at it. The same big nose one like saying the PPP has done more for the people in this country than the PNC and the APNU and so on and so forth. Right? But hear me. There got some little black boys who like run around the place and say, the PPP next, they're giving me money. And so they're supporting this claim by the big nose one that they have done more for African Guyanese than anybody else. But let me analyze it. For every 100,000 contract that the little black boys get to clean up gutter, clean the roadside of garbage, or weed grass, okay? One Indo Guyanese gets $100 million to build a bridge, or a street, or some government building. Who they doing more for you? Who are they doing more for? For every little black boy that they got working for $40,000 a month in the 10-day-a-month program, and mind you, those of you who are relatives in the 10-day-a-month program, I got a message to you. Tell them that the PPP is ensuring that they stay in poverty. Because they're giving them a false sense of being employed for $40,000 a month to work 10 days. What are they doing the rest of the 30 days in the month? Do they pay NIS to them? What benefits they got to look for if they get injured? What retirement benefits they can expect after this 10 days? So I want us to reason like that. I want you to help our young people to understand that what they're getting is in tinier than crumbs, but they begin up themselves and say that they're doing well. I like to refer to it, Javan had gotten into power, into office, several moons ago. When he went to Canada, he said, black people are at the bottom of the social ladder. The PPP never made an effort to create a level playing field so black people, Afro-Guyanese, can climb up from the bottom of that social ladder. Because their intention is to keep you at the bottom of that social ladder, so that the only thing you could do, what did they say, is pick up garbage and do security work. Right? Let that not escape you. Because you have to understand that if you dare allow the PPP to win another election in this country, especially the next election, you have the bad. Afro-Guyanese in this country, they're very bad. Afro-Guyanese in this country, they're very bad. Not only will your children be abducted, but they're going to be abducted right in front of your eyes. They're going to walk in your house and they're going to collect your daughters and collect your sons, and you can't talk. sit down and say, my name be there last election. It got to there this election. Please take the time and check to ensure that your name